Well, let me focus real quick on how to actually spot an opportunity. Okay, and again, this has been 25 years in the making of trying to identify trends and capitalizing on them. But let me just cover a few points that I think are very important. One is you need a disciplined process to do it. I see this skipped by most, even if you're a small company, a sole proprietor, or you're a large company, you actually need a process, a disciplined process, right? Whether it's monthly or quarterly, or maybe it's your annual strategic meeting. You need a time to sit down and think about what are the actual opportunities in the marketplace, right? And you need to do two things. You need to speculate on some of the emerging trends, and you're going to be wrong sometimes, and that's okay. And you also need to extrapolate data. You got to be able to look at a small amount of data and say, how can I extrapolate that data? Where do I think this is headed, right? The second one, you need to test your theories very quickly. Find out a way, whether it's buy a small amount of inventory, go rent a kiosk at a shopping mall, and try to sell it to people, right? And we used to do that before we would take a product to market. We would just go get a kiosk and sell product to the mall. And our beauty from within product that we had, that we thought was fantastic, we couldn't sell one, right? And then another time, I developed a kids' supplements, 3 servings of fruits and vegetables, and these little tarts called foods. We couldn't keep them in stock in the kiosk. We knew right away we had something that people were willing to exchange value for money, right? But you also learn what are all the questions they have, what are all the objections they have, right? And what's the magic price point? We were able to alter the price point all through the day over the weekend to figure out what that magic price point was. You can do the same thing online, right? You can build a page, buy a small amount of inventory, and test your concept, right? But also be willing to fold your bad hands, your bad ideas quickly. Don't completely discard them. The reason I say that is because sometimes, again, it's about timing. Just set them to the side, because it may come to where, as that category emerges, you can bring it back, right? But test it quickly, fold the bad ones, right? Don't get so emotionally attached to it that you just believe it cannot fail, it cannot fail. That's a good way to just run out of cash, right? The third part here is every brand company needs to listen, right? Your customers are really great at telling you what flavor to come out with next, right? Or some ideas about what time should I receive an email, but they're not going to tell you the emerging trends, right? You need to go outside of your customer base. You need to go to non-industry trade shows, right? Read journals, go to scientific conferences, right? I mean, these are the places where you're going to see things as they start to emerge, and you're going to sense it, right? And you're going to see it, and then you can start to study the data, and then you can look online and look at, how many people are searching it, what growth rate and trends is it searching at, and you can start to glean some trajectory around where this category and this trend might be headed. But again, the most important thing is, if I can encourage you to do one thing, just put a process in place. And it doesn't have to be complex. Just set aside the time to actually start thinking about what are the trends and what can we potentially capitalize on. Well, that's it for me. I'm going to close up here by just saying thank you very much for having me here this afternoon.